Platform broadcast of Nuestra Palabra, Latino writers having their say. I'm Tony Diaz, Libre Traficante, and you are experiencing this on social media. The video will appear on fox26houston.com. The audio will air on 90.1 FM KPFT, Houston's community station, and it will be shared by our shows, Nuestra Palabra, Latino writers having their say, and Latino politics and news. And of course, we always come to you in person as well. I'm Tony Diaz, Libre Traficante. Today, I am joined by the organizers of Raise the Vote, as well as the Nuestra Palabra team. So I want to say hi to our guest first, Rich Rodriguez, one of the geniuses behind this. Rich, thanks for joining us. Appreciate that.
Glad to be here.
And Rio Red Sky, who is a brilliant, talented musician representing the Valley and H-Town. Great to see you, Rio.
Hey, everyone.
And our friend Rich Segovia. Hey, this is going to be in your backyard, so thanks for joining us.
Glad to be here.
And then, of course, I want to thank the Nuestra Palabra team. Rodrigo Bravo Jr. is co-hosting. You're used to hearing his name as we give him a shout out for sound engineering and putting the audio elements together. But hey, Rodrigo, thank you for joining us as co-host today again.
No, I appreciate the opportunity, Tony, and I appreciate everybody being here so we can raise the vote.
Love it. And of course, Roxana Guzman, she produces our social media broadcast. Thank you so much for all you do for us. And we want to talk about civic engagement in a really fun and smart way. So let me give out the facts. Raise the Vote is a music and art festival that is going to take place Saturday, October 1st, 2022, from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. at Segovia Studios, 3420 Rush Street in Houston, Texas, 77003. And someone tuning in today, I hope. I mean, that's not a guarantee. I hope someone tuning in will be the artist that submits their work. Hey, you're going to win $1,000. That's great. But the real issue is that evening at that event when it's packed, your work will be reproduced and passed out to everyone. It's going to be a promotional poster. And that's a great way to spread the word, fire up people, engage people. It's going to be the official logo for this whole campaign. And you're spreading art and capital. So, hey, Rich, congratulations on this awesome campaign. I want to repeat the basic facts a lot because there's a lot behind it. So tell us a little bit more about the partners involved in this great event.
Yeah, so the genesis of the whole initiative, which is technically called a Latinx Voter Engagement Grant, right, was put together by the Houston Endowment. It was given as a grant from the endowment to Houston in Action, right? And Houston in Action is a long-standing, great voter outreach organization, nonprofit. They, in turn, submitted were the grantors to other nonprofits that do the legwork on the ground, so to speak. So it comes from the endowment to them, and then they were kind of the ushers of the funds. The Tejano Center for Community Concerns was one of the awardees. There's half a dozen or so, and to do all different various forms of voter engagement. Now, I want to be clear. This is not voter registration. That is something else other registrars would do, but because it's from the endowment, it has to be strictly just engagement, And so that being said, put our thinking hats on. So what do we do different? I didn't want to just do canvassing, hire a bunch of young kids to go out and knock on doors. That's been done ad nauseum, right? So I said, let's do a music.
Well, let me just jump in there because that's important.
It is
continuing,
right?
But we also know that getting that age group just to register the vote's one thing, but they're not getting the information. They're not getting information about the policies. They're not getting information on what day it is, and that's confusing. So this is to fire them up and get that knowledge to them.
Exactly. I mean, a lot of those groups are already doing that, and we've had cross-pollination between other non-profits in the vicinity, like Baker Ripley and others who are doing it. So I just want to do something different. Me being a musician and also being very well established with the arts. So let's do an art and music festival. I got with John. Me and John have been doing. We did a festival just not too long ago, and John was already planning on doing a fall festival. So I kind of twisted his arm and convinced him, let's make it about voter engagement. And he was like, let's do it. So the rest is kind of history. So
that's too cool. And it's going to be at your studio, right, John? Tell folks about the layout for your studio. Now, I think sometimes when people think studio, they think maybe 15 people can fit in there. That's not the case.
Yeah, I have an art gallery in the East End district in Houston, and I usually have art shows, gallery shows there to show off art. And the layout actually it relates to a large groups, right? Large gatherings. We have a large courtyard. We have a side street available to us that we block off. We get permits for it to block that off. So we have a lot of space available to put in vendor booths, to put in a large stage, and to have groups out there, festivals. And so it's located at 3420 Russ Street, and that's got off of Sampson and the Scott Street exit off of 45. So yeah, we're very excited to have everybody out there. We had a great time at our last festival, and we intend for this festival to be at least 3 times bigger and more fun.
Right.
That's so cool. Okay, so folks have heard that you're going to engage the youth. Here's the draw. So Rio Red Sky, super talented. So cool that you're on board. Why do you want to get involved with some cool show like this? Because for you, I think you're going to thrill people with your art, right?
For sure. As a creative, as a musician, as someone with all of this talent, the age that I am right now, a lot of times it can feel like people are stuck. They have all this talent. They don't know what to do with it. They don't know where to go with it. And a lot of times it feels like you're in a corner. It's so important for our generation to get out and vote, because I think we're forgetting that it's our God-given right. We have a right to vote. We have a right to demand change. And it is up to us to be that change. We cannot rely on anyone else to do it anymore.
That's awesome. And tell us a little about the music that you've created. Why is that? What was your calling to that art field? Because it's so awesome to see a Latina involved so much into her art.
So, like a lot of other artists, it starts at a very young age. You start singing, you start drawing, you start painting, and you think, oh my God, I love doing this. It gets confusing as you get older because, you need money, you need a place to live. So I have found a way to create my music and sort of start creating a career off of that. And I think it's incredible to inspire others through my music, which is why I'm trying to create more upbeat pop stuff to kind of just spread the love and spread the good energy and the good vibes.
That's so cool. Appreciate you giving your time and energy to art, to inspire other Latinos and Latinas. But kind of like you said, it's like that's one way to spread the word. And you said at your age, we may not remember that artists then. Well, first of all, I know in school nowadays, artists are being talked out of their fields, right? It's like, so let me ask this. Is that I'm under the perception that in this day and age, and again, my sons are majoring in STEM, but they still love art. So nothing against STEM.
Awesome.
Is it fair to say that it seems that there's a lot of forces trying to talk our youth from pursuing art or enjoying art? Is that fair, Rio?
So it is fair to say that because it's really transparent on social media. We're all on TikTok, we're all on Instagram, we're all on Facebook, and we're all seeing so many successful people, but we're not seeing the work behind it. We're being told there is a hustle motivation going on. You need to become a millionaire. You need to be a billionaire. You need to be the next Elon Musk. We're forgetting about the simple things. So people like Segovia Studios are very important because we need the culture. We need color. All of our infrastructure, buildings, everything's turning gray, literally. And it affects you whether you realize it or not. We need color in this world. We need creatives. We need music. We need art. And it's so important that people try not to forget that.
Love it. She's touching the hearts of our listeners and viewers without even singing yet. Wait till you hear her sing, okay? Wait till you hear her sing. And along those lines, I love that a young artist has a chance to win this recognition. There will be some money involved. I think more importantly, the community cultural capital created. Rich, break down the specific steps and tell folks how they can get involved.
Yeah, definitely. And I want to point out that we have 4 other artists that will be performing. We're solidifying a 5th, and the headliner will be a young lady who's from Houston but currently resides in LA, who won the national DJ competition. Right, this girl's done the Tribeca Film Festival with J-Lo. She's always in the beat. She's all over the world. She's a very highly sought after DJ named DJ Orange Calderon. So it's going to be really exciting. She's going to be, I think, hopefully a big draw. And then we've partnered with a creative media team called Input Output. So you're going to see a lot of cool visuals there. I mean, the back of stage will be all kind of immersive 3D lighting. These guys did the seismic museum over in Fort Bend County. They had the really cool interactive thing. So,
that's really cool.
So we're doing some really cool
EDM concerts and
so really cool innovative lighting that will be done on one of the back walls in John's studio. So it's going to be it's going to be a really sight for the eyes and ears, so to speak. But to your larger point, the point on the art contest, which is a really, I think, important part of this. What does it mean to have a celebration about getting people out to vote and people being excited about voting and putting art integration in that? We don't have some way to engage and have artists participate directly in this initiative. And the way we're doing that is through an art contest. It's $1,000 prize. I call it an open commission because I like it to be looked at as an open commission to any artist.
I like that.
Who wants to participate. 18 to 25. We're not going to put a restriction on whether or not they're enrolled in college or not. Just 18 to 25 years old. That's kind of a demographic we're trying to attract anyway. Submit your art in any medium. It can be in any medium, but the point behind it is, you have to provide a piece of art that inspires people to vote. And I know, Tony, me and you, when we think about that, we think of the old propaganda posters and all. That's what I think about. But I think about all that great art that happened in the socialist movement down in Latin America. But it can be whatever. It could be sculpture. It could be photography. It could be whatever. And the greatest part about that is we're going to select the winner 2 weeks out. So the deadline is September 16th. Between 10 and 2, you have to drop off the art at Segovia Studios, 3420 Rusk, right? We'll judge it soon thereafter. And whoever the winner is, we're going to reproduce. Hopefully, if it's something that's easily reproduced. 200 I can't make 200 sculptures, but
1,000 art cars. What the heck?
We can take a photo of it, I guess, and make it. But we'll reproduce several hundred copies of whatever it is, and then when we announce the winner, we're going to hand them out, and that's going to be the official poster for the event. So that young guy or young lady, whoever the winner is, we're going to make somebody's day, I hope. But the cool part about it is everybody who participates will be put somewhere in the gallery, so they can invite their friends to see them gallery. And if they want to sell the art, they can do that too. So, I think it's an exciting initiative to bring everybody together.
That really is so cool. Rio, you mentioned a few things about if you're a young artist, you don't know what the steps are. Especially in the writing field, people can get Master of Fine Arts in Creative Writing and still not hear about becoming a professional writer per se. So what a wonderful step where obviously it's going to be someone's parent or relatives, right? It's going to be the cool tia watching this, who's like, mijo, right now, you got to submit. You've got great art. And
I do want to give a shout out. I want to give plenty kudos to John here, because John's been really, really open and transparent with trying to bring the community in. A lot of artists when they say, no, my gallery is going to have my art on my walls, and that, they're kind of very restrictive to that. John's never been that way. He's always been willing to, help another artist get the leg up and to do something like this for the community. So John's been a really great partner, and this and other things we've been doing. So.
Oh, thank you very much.
Well, it sounds cool because it's also so someone listening's got to, this is how it's going to work, really. Yeah. Someone's got to inspire the artist. And I can say from the writer's side, we've always had a good agent, and they were usually a mom, a tia. Right. So you got to tell that artist about this. And what's cool is to submit, it sounds like they get to go to John's studio anyway, right? Which is fun, which is very cool. So you get to see the studio. Maybe they've never visited a studio. And they have to do that before September 16th, before the Quince, before Hispanic Heritage Month starts. And then they're entered into this open commission. I love that word, where they can get $1,000, which actually is it's a lot. It's a nice amount of money for especially a young artist. They should be 18 to 25. And then from there, you're going to pick one that will become the graphic and will be distributed at this art exhibit. And you said too, I believe, that all the pieces will be exhibited. Where and when will they be exhibited?
On the day of. Well, see, they're all going to be dropped off on the 16th. That's when we want them to be dropped off. I don't think we're even set up to drop them off beforehand. So really, it's on the 16th we want them dropped off between 10 and 2. John has not only his exhibition space, but there's a general space all down the hallways. It's a sizable building, so they'll be throughout. Put up throughout. So it'll be fun. They get to see themselves, gallery, bring their friends, bring their family. That's our hope. Because as far as I'm counting heads. That's what's most important to me. I want to get enough people there so I can show a good effort for Houston in Action, because we have it in good authority that if we're successful, which I know we're going to have a bigger party next year, a much bigger party. So we want this to be a continuous event. This is not the first one and out. This is the first of many. This is the inaugural Raise the Vote.
Inaugural, that's correct.
Inaugural Raise the Vote event, which we will be doing time and time again, getting bigger and bigger. And think about it, Tony. We're now going to have a forum for Latino outreach, and voting, but specifically for Latinos, right? And it's for everybody. I mean, I don't mean that we're not inclusive, but
we have some going to check the Latino papers at the door. I'm sorry.
Right.
I come in here.
Right. We know, obviously, that's not what we're saying, but it's great to have a focus, right? And we definitely need it. So.
Now, I'm about to ask John for some maybe tips for us to convey to the young artists on how they get this together, but give us the basic information on where people can go, not just to find out about the information, but to find out how their nieces, nephews, or sons or daughters can apply for this art competition part of it.
Right. So the object of this is to get kids who are graduating out of school, 18 years old, seniors, who are going to be registered, legally able to vote that year, up through universities, right? Freshmen, sophomores. So we want to get all the colleges together, all the universities together. So that's who we're looking for to submit the art, right? So there's always a lot of talk with kids who are afraid that art supplies cost money, right? I can't afford to buy a canvas, or my parents don't have enough money to purchase the supplies I need. You really should just look at just getting a piece of paper and a pencil and submit whatever you can, whatever means that you have available to you. And I grew up, I didn't have money to go and buy art supplies. So I had a piece of paper available and a pencil, and I would just sketch and draw all day. So anything is submittable, right? So don't let money be a factor whether or not you participate in this event. We're not looking for the flashiest thing, right? We're looking for the most impactful thing, the most meaningful piece of art, right? And so that could be anything. You can create something out of nothing, right? That's what we're looking for. And that's the advice I can give to all the kids out there that are, I'm going to be competing against universities, and these guys are going to have, large canvas pieces. That's not important to us. It's the meaning behind the art, and that's what we're going to be looking for.
Yeah, it's very cool. Rio, you're an artist. What would you tell someone when they have to dig in? Because it could be boring. I mean, it's like, hey, go vote. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
I think for artists that have that natural passion and natural talent, it's definitely not boring. It's something that comes from within. And this is inspiring because this isn't something that you have to be in school. You have to be a part of this community. You have to be a part of Segovia Studios to participate. No, this is an event for everybody. It's open to all of the public. It's open to anyone ages 18 to 25. And we're here for a purpose. This isn't just an art contest just to win $1,000. This is to inspire the community and inspire the millennials and Gen Z to get up and vote and use your voice.
I love that.
Very well said.
Rich, do us a favor. Give out the websites where people can go see, one, stay informed about the event, and then two, to apply. Is there a form they have to fill out?
Yeah, John, give them the website. It's
Sure. You can go to segoviastudiosllc.com. segoviastudiosllc.com. You can Google it, you'll be able to find it. And we are in the process of creating those online forms as we speak. So give us about a week to put those together. But we do have links that we're creating that where you can actually download the information in PDF format, and then you can make a phone call to sign up for it.
Yeah, if you scroll up on the website, scroll down, I guess you'll see more about the actual event.
Yeah, if you scroll, there we go.
Yeah.
Underneath the red there, it should pop up right there.
Yeah, there you go. We'll learn more.
Click on the Learn More button, and then it'll take you to a page where we have all the information.
Right.
So.
And right now it's got those cool fists in the air, which Rich was alluding to earlier. I think you said 80s. Is that what you said about us, Rich? You were saying
No. Well, no, just saying, you remember the old poster, the old
Uncle Sam.
not quite that, the old, power to the people and all that good jazz,
Well, and
ground power and all that.
What I love is it really is telling our youth that you are empowering them to inspire others to get involved, and they are the ones that have that gift, and they're the ones that can help us get there. So,
well, I'll tell you, the biggest lesson people can often learn is when you ask a question off like that. How do you inspire someone to get out and vote? Oftentimes, they're asking themselves the same question for the first time. Well, what is it that would inspire me, right? So that's the first time they're asking themselves that question, maybe. And there's a whole lot of internal, not conflict, but internal mechanisms that go through processes you go through about using your critical thinking skills and everything else about what it is you're passionate about. So oftentimes, you don't think about those things unless someone asks you those kind of questions. And if you're in an environment that's not being asked, who knows if you think about them. So,
and that's a very important thing right now, especially in my generation, because people aren't communicating the education that we need. They aren't communicating the drive to get out there and vote and use your voice. A lot of us feel like our voice doesn't matter. Politics are crazy right now. Look at everything we've been through in the past 3 years. It's not easy. It's kind of pushed us into a corner. So this is an opportunity for us to be creative, feel like we have a say, and feel like we have the freedom to express ourselves through art and through our voice to vote.
You bring up something really important, which is that we're not even going to touch on the whole act of getting the youth to register to vote. This is also touching on youth who do not feel involved or civically engaged. And that's pretty deep because in my opinion, that means they're voting against the whole system. I mean, when I see that they're voting against the whole system, they're thinking it doesn't matter. And let's add to that voter suppression. And here's what I mean when I say voter suppression. Obviously, I'm an experienced voter and I go out of my way to vote. But I say out of my way because we hear about the presidential election, but there's so many other elections. There are primaries, there are runoffs.
You don't know about that.
Elections.
It's not talked about. The news doesn't cater to people our age because, it's for us to go out of our way, like you said, and figure out these resources aren't just available for us. I didn't know about the election until my grandmother, who watches the news like it's a religion, told me about it. I wouldn't have known. So it's important to spread the knowledge and encouragement for people to go out, look for those resources, figure out when the voting dates are, and show up and show out.
Right. Absolutely. And I want to mention some of the other acts, Tony, if I could, that are going to be there performing. We have a great young guy named Jay Signs. And I want to thank Ariana Castro, who's really helped me put together a lot of these artist events. In fact, she's the one who introduced me to Rio. Jay Signs, who will be performing Cactus Flowers. They're kind of a cool alternative eclectic group. We've got Iris with double I for the R and double I after Iris, who's also great. She's kind of Lady Gaga-esque pop singer. And I mentioned we have Orange Calderon, who's really, really going to end the night for us in a nice way. She has an hour set. She's like I said, she's won the national DJ competition. And we have one final spot. I'm trying to break it up into probably a hip hop artist. So if you're out there, people are listening, you got a great hip hop person, send them to me, and we're looking at a few. Or I want to break it down into some kind of maybe a norteño thing, or I hear that's in vogue again. Like a lot of young guys a lot of young people are going back to that. So we're in discussions with both of those kind of genres just to break it up. And then we're going to potentially do something really cool and eclectic where the street is shut down. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves and tell you what we're doing potentially, but whatever we finalize on, it will be exciting. And it'll be something that will encourage you to come out. Well, I hope it does. So,
Is admission free?
It's gonna be cool.
we're working on it. We're working on a type of market type thing. It's gonna be cool. So,
And will there be a cost to attend?
no. Well, here's how we're gonna handle that. So there's no cost to attend, but there will be a QR code that you'll have to click on, enter some nominal information like your name, email address, or number, and maybe your date of birth, right? And then it tells you, okay, you're in, and you get in. And for me, that's a way we capture some data that I need for the grant requirements at the same time. And also, we can pass on to the voter registrars and everybody else. But we'll have them throughout also to do that registration work. That's important. I mean, you have a captured audience. We want to make sure we do that. I just typically can't do it within the auspices of the grant, but others can, that it will be there. So that's how we're going to kind of take roll or count heads and capture some data and have a great time.
Very cool.
I like this too, because you're also teaching youth and their family members to be community organizers, even in the act of talking other folks to go, associating voting, civic engagement, art with all of this. And then some young people are going to see, wow, I got some of my friends involved. They went and it caused the change. So that is transformative. So that, I think that's great on so many different levels, and it makes art seem important and not just something distant as well. So are those some of your goals as well?
Absolutely. As me and you have done many initiatives together, we don't believe in two birds and one stone. We believe in 5 or 6, right? So we're always trying to capture and accomplish many goals with as little effort as possible, or making sure that our effort goes a long way with each stride. So, and and I know you're such a big proponent of the arts, just how importantly impactful art can be. To me, art is politics. I mean, they go hand in hand. From Segueros to Rivera to where we are today, our people have been using art at the forefront of trying to get a message across since time immemorial. Even before that, in the Native period. So it's inherent in our culture, and it's something we should use in all aspects of what we're doing. And no more important function than in helping promote political change or policy, so that we can be done right by our participation as a nation. 46% of the population, we deserve our fair share, and obviously we haven't been getting that. So we're trying to right that wrong.
Rodrigo, you and I know a lot of folks in this demographic. Are we overlooking anything? Should we add a few other elements?
No, I think this Rich's approach is really spot on. I mean, if we continue doing the same things that we're doing, we're not going to affect the vote. So we got to look at different ways of shifting that, and having a concert, having young voters, with the artists that are going to be there, resonate with them, and then also get that educational kind of framework why voting is important. We just saw right now in the primaries with in the Democratic primary in the Rio Grande Valley, right, where Henry Cuellar beat Ms. Jessica Cisneros by 500 votes. That's nothing. That's nothing when you look at that. So if we have a higher participation rate, that could be the change in 1 or 2 or 3 races. So I think Rich is really doing a great job here, along with John and Rio, of making sure that, hey, let's try something different. Let's not try the same old tactics that we've tried. do they? That's not to say that they don't work or they don't work, but let's try to increase it one way, and maybe we'll see. Hey, this is a great way. Let's get more people involved. So I really like the approach that Rich is doing right now, and I commend y'all for making this happen.
Thank you. And I think it's fair to say it's also very important that this is happening in Second Ward. In a zip code that is actually the highest gentrifying zip code in the nation over the last 2 years.
Wow.
I'm in the housing world, and I was in a national survey, and it was actually in Virginia. It was a Zoom, and they mentioned, here are the highest gentrifying areas from base value to, acquired value, 003, and a couple others in Second Ward. I was like, Houston, Texas, and our elected officials aren't talking about this. Not enough of them, at least. To me, it's a crisis. But to your point, where you live is your power, because that determines who represents you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here we are, 1 to 16 council members. Is only one is a Latino out of 16 council members. Here we have a historically Latino part of Houston that's vastly gentrifying, and it wouldn't surprise me in an election not too far in the future they start electing people of their own flavor and persuasion, and we no longer have that ability to control that historic Hispanic community. So it's important where you live, and that's why it's important for you to take. That's your power, and if you don't exercise that power, others will, and typically it's not in your favor. So that's just something that's basically inherent as a citizen of this country that people need to take serious, regardless of their age.
Rio, you're in the demographic, so I think sometimes the stereotype corporate media puts on our youth is that they don't care. What I actually see on the ground, though, is that I vote. It's hard work. Why? Not every candidate wants to be known. So I've gone through school board races where there are candidates who have no website, no pictures, can't find anything out about them. So is it hard for youth to find out about these candidates? And if they did, do you think they'd be more engaged?
I think it is. I think it's a huge effort for us to gain the knowledge that we need about our candidates and who we're voting for. It's not just placed pretty on the news for us to make our comparisons. A lot of news media is biased. So they're going to show you what they want to show you. They're going to show you the good or the bad of whoever they're rooting for. So it's really important for us to do our own research. And if there was a perfect way for us to see it, that would be great, but there's not. We have to do the groundwork. It takes effort. No one's just going to tell us what's right, what's wrong about each candidate. And we have to make our own opinions. We can't just rely on someone to tell us. We have to form our own opinions, express our critical knowledge, and figure out what's best for our interests.
Love it. Well, let's go around and give everyone one last word. We're going to give the last word to Rio. Rich, someone's tuning in right now, and they're like, you know what? My nephew's not going to be interested. What do you tell that person?
Well, I tell them, don't complain about inflation. Then don't complain that we can't, we can't get wages. Don't complain that gas is where it's at, although it's coming down. I think there's plenty of people out there who need help. And yeah, the monetary part of this is one thing, but more than anything, we're trying to get people to think long and hard about the question. How do you inspire people to get out and to vote? What inspires you, and how do you inspire others to do that? The exercise, it's a thought experiment. That's worth more than $1,000 if it really grows in you and ripens into something that you carry with you moving forward. Then the money's just, this is kind of an afterthought. But I'd say submit, regardless, submit, because you never know. You don't know what we're completely looking for. I think, like John says, we all come from humble beginnings. We can understand pencil and paper, and it's the heart on the page. Put the heart on the page, and the rest will all follow.
That's exactly right.
John, there's an artist listening right now, and he or she may be intimidated. They're like, oh man, Segovia is going to be judging me.
Well, that's going to be a good thing, because I have a huge heart, and I'm looking more for, what that person is made out of, right? And what message they're trying to convey to actually their peers, right? Because these posters or this artwork is going to be talking to their brothers and sisters or their cousins and their friends in school to get them fired up, right? What message can they convey that's going to get them to go out and register to vote? And I'll be honest with you, I grew up not interested in politics, right? And it wasn't until my later years, in my 30s, where I finally, okay, I guess I'm going to go and vote because now I see how it's affecting me. But it wasn't taught to me the importance of voting. And as a young kid, and the power that we have if we were to just, hey, get a group of friends together, 10, 20 of your friends, and just go register to vote and work it that way. I was never taught that. But now here we are. We have this platform to where we can teach that to our kids, to our friends and neighbors. Hey, this is really powerful stuff if we really get together. And I have this message on our website that we are together. We're stronger when we vote, right? So let's go ahead and continue with that message and spread the word and let's inspire.
Awesome. Rio, okay, you're charismatic, you're funny, you're smart. Is this a trick? Is this really going to be a fun party?
I try.
Wait till you hear her sing.
First.
It is. Gosh, this is so much more. This is an event for all of the community. We want people ages 18 to 25 to register to vote. Yes, we're going to handle that, but this is an open invitation to all of Houston. I don't care who you're voting for. It's your God-given right to vote. You need to show up. You need to show out. We're inviting everybody. Bring your mom, bring your friends, bring your family. It's going to be a party. It's going to be a party. We're going to have a concert. I'm going to be singing. We're going to have incredible talents. We're going to have beautiful art to look at. You're going to get to take pictures and be involved and just feel a part of a movement that is so much more than meets the eye. This is a huge opportunity for everybody to get involved. You don't know who you're going to meet there. You're going to meet me. You're going to meet Segovia. We can help you with your venture to being an artist, to being whoever you are. There's going to be incredible people there, and we need everybody to come out and show up.
Love it. Well, thank you all for everything you do for the community. This really is a fantastic campaign that will transform Houston and Texas. And I want to thank our crew. So, hey, Rodrigo Bravo, thank you so much for co-hosting and always being a brilliant sound engineer. And then also Roxana Guzman, who is our multi-platform producer and helps all the time to get us across the airwaves. This is Tony Diaz de Lima Traficante. Thank you to everybody who has tuned in and supports this cause, and we look forward to seeing all of you at the arts. Thanks. Nos vemos.
Thank you.
Thank you.